Yes, you did read that title correct. Over the last 5 years, I have spent over $1,000 on presets, building this massive collection, wasting tons of money, but also finding a few solid presets that have really helped expedite my workflow and give me a phenomenal starting point to build upon. And that's really what it's all about. And hopefully this can help you figure out if you want to make the purchase and if it'll fit into your workflow. So before we dive in, it's important to understand how presets actually work. If you are relying on a one-click save for your photos, that's not what it's designed for, okay? Presets are designed to be a starting point, a base. It is very rare, it can happen, but it's very rare that you will click on a preset and everything will be perfect. However, it does happen from time to time, but that is not the intended use. You are meant to adjust things like exposure and white balance and so on and so forth and get it to a point that you, as the artist or creator, photographer, are happy with, and that's what it's all about. Build it to your eye, but it gives you a starting point to save you time, because time is money, especially if you're a professional photographer and getting paid and working with clients. Let's dive in and we'll take a look. Okay, so we are in Lightroom, but I was going through my Lightroom presets and there's a lot of them, and I thought this might make for a cool video to kind of help others not spend the same amount of money that I have and show you what's valuable to me that I have spent money on in the quickest fashion that I can. But I also want to show you actually using the presets, because I don't think it's very fair to tell you, yeah, these are worth the money, you should buy them, and then only show you like a finished image or whatever. So I'm gonna actually like quickly go through the presets with some raw images that I have here. I'm gonna be showcasing them with what I think works and what I think makes sense for them. Again, this is not a hard rule. This is just how I use them and how I have found that they benefit me. So that's enough talking, we'll get into it. So this first image here seems to be like a travel image with a Asian structure of some kind, pretty cool. It's a little bit underexposed, but it's got like a good vibe. So here's my ginormous list of presets. And we're gonna start with one of my favorites, which is FM Film from Forest Mankins. Apologize if I butchered his last name. He's a phenomenal photographer. He also has a YouTube, beautiful Instagram, like probably one of my favorite like lifestyle photographers at the moment. And his presets are just phenomenal. So if you like the film look without it being too strong, I find that this film pack is like subtle but extremely effective and extremely versatile. So we have tons of different presets. So there's Daylight, Daylight Vivid, FM 800, personal favorite of mine, FM 802, Red and Orange, FM 800, Color Plus, Plus Warm, Cool, Cool 2, Retro. The Retro ones are also very nice. Retro 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we have Cowboy, which is the black and white. Cowboy Original is very high contrast. Cowboy 2, less contrast. 6x7 800 base. Warm 6x7 800. 35 millimeter P800, P802 fall colors. Kootenai, probably said that wrong. 400H, 400H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. New Moto, River, Ski Film, really nice. Dusk, and then there's a couple grain options if you want to apply your grain after the fact. So for me, I think FM 800 just works really good for this image. So let's start with that, and we don't need to do a whole lot because it's looking pretty good. And only thing I think I'll do, let's go into our color mixer. I want to increase the saturation of the reds and really bring out the red in that structure. And then we also have a subject down here that's a little bit hard to see. So I'm just going to do a linear gradient like this and bring up the shadows there to kind of reveal her a bit better. And before, after, the sky is very blue, maybe too blue for some people. But again, this is just a very quick demonstration of what this looks like. And there is a bit of green. What are we at for green? 29. So it's not too bad. It's not too intense. Small green, looks really good. Like, I'd be happy with that. I think that looks pretty darn good. For this image, again, another travel image, it's on a weird angle. I'm gonna go ahead and do the auto upright geometry there, just to fix that to me. Back into my presets. I think Daylight Vivid, although FM800 also looks really good for this. Ooh, that's very warm. Retro 1. Kinda like, whoa. The Retro 4, Retro 5, not a lot of change. But you can see in Retro 6, we're getting that kind of teal and orange vibe, which I'm gonna go with for this. And before, after, again, don't need to do a whole lot. I think I would just do a radial up here in the center, bump up the exposure just a touch. And honestly, that's a cool image. I would happily just share that as it is. Yeah. And I wasn't planning on using the landscape one, but I think I'll use the landscape one just to show how versatile this pack is. So let's see what looks good. FM800, man. I don't know. It just looks so good and filmic. I'm gonna have to use it again. And I will make a couple minor tweaks. So I'll bring down the clarity to my liking, a little bit of dehaze, a little bit of texture, and yeah, like, dang. I mean, the exposure could probably come down just a touch. Again, this is like to your eye, to your liking. Before, after, to me that looks amazing. The grain is fairly strong, but it's really nice. It looks filmic, it looks realistic, and the greens and stuff, greens and blue contrast just looks really, really good. That looks awesome. Just like that, I wouldn't have to do a whole lot more. The other image, this another, like, I guess Asian travel destination, looks like, travel photo. We'll do one more with FM film just because I love it so much. Find out what works best. Ooh, I do think Color Plus is the winner for this. So I corrected the geometry again with the auto upright. I feel like we can dial back the exposure to really make this more dramatic and punchy, I guess. And I like to reduce the clarity a touch, up the dehaze, and we have this like mist, or I don't know, sun rays kind of coming in. So if we up the texture there, not too much, but it'll help bring that out. So before, after, to me that looks solid without doing very much. So I'm happy with that. Cool. All right, next pack I want to talk about, and this is specifically for portraits. So Phil Chester, if you've never heard of him, he has a ton of different preset packs. They're called, well, they're usually PS, Phil and Sarah. So they teamed up and did these preset packs that are absolutely incredible. But he also has an Instagram, Phil Chester Presets. If you follow them, it's just like a beautifully curated set of images, and he reshares images from photographers that use his presets, that tag him. And there's just some really, really amazing photographers, great work on there, and just the edits are just so good. So let's dive in. I actually have several different packs from Phil, and I have the Daydreamer pack, which is very filmic, but we already did kind of the FM film, so I don't really want to touch on that because it's a little bit close. The editorial pack, which is really nice. And then for me, it's gonna be the signature pack that I'm gonna share. So if you shoot any kind of portraits, this would be my recommendation. And we have PC1, PC2, PC3, PC4 black and white, PC5, like a faded black and white, and then PC6. And PC6 just looks amazing right out of the gate. And I know I said at the beginning that, like, you know, presets aren't a one-click fix. You have to get in there and mess around with some sliders. But really, honestly, this looks really damn good. Like, and it does happen. It does happen that you can do a one-click wonder, I call it, and everything's just perfect. But before, after, that looks phenomenal. I would say if I was to do anything, let's get a little bit of creative here. So a radial mask around her face, and then invert it, and then we'll bring in the exposure. So it's like a vignette, but it's more dramatic. I find it much better than a vignette, just to draw the attention into your subject. And then obviously the eyes are very much the focus of this image. So let's punch in here, and I'm gonna do, without using the like presets built into Lightroom, I'm gonna do my own with a radial mask. So let's go bump up the shadows on the eyes, exposure a bit. It looks like the eyes aren't super tack sharp in this image. Sorry to the photographer, but it happens, you know. We'll bump up the clarity and then just a touch of saturation. Okay, so that looks good. Just bringing out the eyes, and I'm going to duplicate that and then drag the other one over here. That's a very quick eye touch up for you if you're a photographer. So let's go before, after. That looks super solid. There's a little blemish I could probably just heal. Yeah, okay. Yep. Done. Yeah, that looks awesome. So before, after, skin tones are just on point. Like the Phil Chester presets, if you shoot portraits or people or couples or weddings, highly, highly recommend all of them. I'm only scratching the surface here to share, but I'll drop links to everything down below so you can dive in. There's another portrait, which is actually a really nice portrait, and I'm gonna use the Phil Chester ones again. So we have PC1, which looks very good. PC2 just has like a bit of a warmer tone, which I like. 3, not gonna do black and white. 6 does look good again. Let's do 2, because I like that warmer tone. There does seem to be some shadow on the face, so what I'll do is, again, radial. I love radials if you haven't figured that out. And if you're not using radial masks or masks in general, you are really, really missing out on, you know, really taking your images to the next level. So let's bump up those shadows to help remove some of the shadows there. Enter, and then again, I want to bring out the eyes. So I'm gonna do pretty much the exact same thing that I did last time. Up the shadows quite a bit, and then exposure. Again, we don't want to be too unrealistic. And then negative dehaze to really like see how much it brings out those details in the iris. And then clarity a touch, and maybe a little bit more there. And that looks really good. And we'll duplicate that for the other eye as well, even though it's not, like the other eye is not really the focus, but just so it's more realistic. And that looks really good. I might actually, you know what? I might actually delete this one, so then we just have this eye, which is very much the focus. And that looks really good. Before, after, yeah, that looks pretty damn good. nice portrait, good shot. I don't know who the photographer is. I wish I could credit them, but again, shout out to Signature Edits for having these raw files available. Super, super awesome. That looks wonderful. Maybe last thing I would do is a vignette subtle, just like that. Call it a day. That's perfect. Awesome. One more for the Phil Chester. Again, I feel like if you shoot weddings, this is a really, really great set to use. The greens render really nice if you shoot outdoors, and skin tones are just always like flawless. So I think for this image, I think PC1 is gonna be our winner. And I always like to do a little bit of negative clarity, soften things up a bit. And there's not too much I'm gonna mess with here. Like maybe bring down exposure, and we could probably just do a little bump up of shadows on this guy, the groom, and just to bring out the details. And yeah, before, after, I feel like a wedding couple, newlyweds would be very happy with that as an, deliverable. There's a little bit, what is this? I would probably, I'm getting extra picky now. Let's use the generative AI, shrink this down a touch and just fix whatever's going on there. Let's see what it does. La-di-da-di-da. I don't know why I'm doing this. I noticed it and it was bugging me, so boom. All right, ta-da, we good. Okay, now there's this other creative portrait which I really like, very cool. I'm gonna show you another preset pack that I bought a long time ago, and I often forget because I've bought so many since then. It's another film one, but it's a little bit different, so bear with me. Okay, so RNI Films, that's RNI stands for Really Nice Images. They have like mastered film emulation. So this is really emulating film to the best, best of their abilities, and they did an incredible job. Now, the reason this is a very unique set is because these are actually profiles. So they're not presets in the sense that they adjust the sliders. They are simply Lightroom profiles. So it changes the way that all the colors are rendered in the image without touching any of your sliders. And if that doesn't make sense, I'll show you real quick. So if we go into like the negative set, so you get all these different ones. I only bought the light pack because the like pro full pack was, I think was like 250 Canadian dollars, and I just could not bring myself to do it. The light pack was like, I think 150, but you still get lots with the light pack. I haven't upgraded. They give you, like, if you bought the light pack, you can upgrade to the pro for a discounted price. I just haven't done it because, again, I have so many other presets now that I've moved on to. But these are just so powerful and so good if you really want to emulate film, like, to the best of your ability. This would be my suggestion. So if we go and look at the negative films, we've got Optima 200, Vista 100, Fuji Natura 1600, Pro H, Superior to normalized. HC stands for high contrast. So normalized, high contrast, Superior V2, Superior 800, Ektar, classic, Gold 200, Portra 400, Ultramax 400. So for this image, I kind of like the look of gold, and we're gonna roll with that. So as you can see, it's just the profile up here that's been changed. None of these sliders have been messed with, and the white balance is only because of the raw image that it's looking that way. So absolutely nothing's been touched. This is where you're gonna have to do a bit of extra work to really get it to your liking. So I'm gonna up the exposure a bit, touch of contrast, bump up the whites a bit, bring these down. Shadows, I don't know. Yeah, we can bring out some of the shadows because she's kind of hidden. And then I'm gonna do just a very subtle S-curve and crush these a little bit just to make it even more believable for the film look. And we're already at a really good point. So this is before, after. Really, really nice looking image. I'm gonna reduce the clarity again to soften things up. Again, that's also more believable when filmic. And I'm actually gonna go negative dehaze to brighten things just a touch. Little bit of texture. And before, after, that looks good. I think that looks pretty darn good. I haven't even touched any color. I will do a bit of vibrance. And yeah, that looks super dope. Now as well, these presets come with a toolkit, so you can accomplish a lot in here. So analog softness, so it's basically like reduces clarity for you, but there's like different adjustments. So there's 4 different settings. You can do a fade to really sell the film look. I don't really love the fade thing. It gets very powerful, very intense. There's grain options. So if you want to add grain like 100, 200, 400, small, medium, large, 800. I think for this, I'll do like a 400 small, just to give it a bit of grain. And then there's a hard fade, which really, it actually doesn't look too bad. And if you see, I don't know if you noticed that, I think I talked about this in my Luminar Neo video as well, but in the S-curve, what I did, I slightly crushed the highlights and shadows at the ends there. And what that does is give you that like fade look. So if you look at hard fade and you watch what it's doing to the S-curve on the right there, it's just a more intense version of what I already did. So I already gave it a bit to my liking, which I think is enough. I don't want to go too crazy with the hard fade, but yeah, you can get very carried away. The cool thing, they have a slide frame, so the rounded edges, you can get like the black. I like the white a lot, which looks super dope. And when I, was going hard on my Instagram there for a while, I was exporting everything with these white slide frames. And then they also have smart contrast. So this is -1, -2, and then +1, +2. So I already did some contrast adjustments myself, so I don't need to worry about that. And then there's vignette. I think 2 actually looks pretty darn good. Only thing I will do, and it's gonna be very subtle, I'm gonna do a mask for our subject here. And I wanna just bring out some more of her details. So I'm just gonna up the shadows a bit and a touch of clarity. And I think if we look at that, where we started and where we are now, that looks really good. The grain is definitely graining, but I like it. It works. Again, it's all about your own personal taste, but I think it looks super awesome. It kind of matches like she's got that retro, I don't even know what you call that, the thing that goes under the helmet. But yeah, it's like a creative style portrait, and it's clearly trying to achieve like more of a vintagey look, I guess. So I feel like the film look works, and that looks good to me. I like it. Let's do another RNI Films here, because this is just so versatile. Vintage, what do we got? That looks pretty cool. 50s, high contrast, 60s. Ooh, 160 vibrant. I like that because we have those yellows. So yeah, that's definitely the one I'm gonna go with. So as you can see, like we can use this for many different approaches. And like we used it for a portrait already. This is like I don't know, this is kind of a street slash architecture travel photo before, after. That's already looking really good, and I haven't touched a thing. So let's bring this down a bit, bring this up a bit, give us that punch. And I really like what this is doing. I don't even know if I need to like do a whole lot here. Like I'm super happy with that. Before, after. it already looks dramatically better, and I haven't touched a single thing other than a very subtle S-curve. I think maybe a touch of dehaze and a bit of texture and a subtle vignette. And I'd probably call it a day, honestly. Yeah, that looks super, super solid. So very cool. Okay, let's do one more. We have this car Mercedes photo. So this is gonna work well since we're shooting a vintage car. Why not use a film look? Technicolor looks super, super good. And again, we haven't touched any sliders, nothing's changed. I will go in the toolkit though and just mess with a bit here to get the look I want. Let's go. I don't need any analog softness. I don't really want a fade because I feel like it's taking away from the image. Grain, not concerned with at the moment, but I do want that smart contrast. Where's that? So +1 seems to work well. And vintage lens, I don't think we need any kind of distortion of any kind. That's just gonna mess things up for this image. So that looks pretty good. And we'll make some fine-tune adjustments quickly. Negative clarity, just not too much. That's a bit too much. Texture up. Dehaze, just a tad negative dehaze to bring things out. And what I will do is a radial mask on this. And we're gonna turn this to kind of match the shape here, because we want to make that Mercedes-Benz logo really pop. That's kind of the focal point of the image. Clarity, negative dehaze a bit. And I think the only other thing I will do is another radial around this whole portion here. And as you can see, this is the center focus. We're gonna invert, and I want them just negative exposure to again draw your eye in. And that looks very solid. Here's the before, here's the after. Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. So I think there's only 2 other images that I haven't touched. So let's look at, okay, what I'm gonna do, since for the other portrait I did Phil Chester, obviously, because that specializes in portraits. I'm actually gonna go back to FM Film here for a second to show you that it's more versatile than you may think. Daylight, Daylight Vivid, FM 800. Oh, FM 800 just always looks so good. But let's try something a little bit different since I've used a lot of the same. So this is like a couples photo, but it could also pass for like a lifestyle kind of thing. I think Retro 1 looks really good here. And yeah, before, after, again, whoops. I haven't even made any changes to any of the sliders, so that's already a drastically improved image. We could just make them pop a little bit, not too much, since they are the focus of the image. And like I like to do, I'll show you again. You're probably gonna steal this afterwards, but that's fine, because that's what I'm here for. Invert that radial, bring down that exposure, and really just draw your eye into your subject. Boom, that looks phenomenal. I'm happy with that. All right, last one we have here is a drone shot. I'm assuming this was definitely captured with a drone. Actually, what does it say? Yep, DJI, definitely. So it's already pretty good. It's very like punchy and stuff, but obviously we're gonna take it up a notch. And I've still got FM film open here. And look at that. Retro 2 looks absolutely spectacular with those greens and everything. Not much I would really do here. That is literally like, that is ready to share. You could, if you want. You know what I'm about to do. Or do you? Instead of inverting this one, I'm actually gonna do the opposite. So I am going to just increase the exposure a little bit on that center part. And that looks absolutely perfect. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Let's look at the very first image we did with FM film, again with FM film, again with FM film, Phil Chester, RNI Films, Phil Chester, FM film again, the RNI Films, Phil Chester, this was FM film, and RNI Films. So quite a variety, and we edited all those photos in, I don't know how long it's been, 20 odd minutes, I would say. So yeah, very quick, very, we didn't go too deep, but I just wanted to kind of share these with you all and show you how powerful they are, how versatile they are. And obviously there's a lot more that could be done to all these images, but I feel like a lot of these I would be happy to share as they are. And yeah, links for everything will be dropped below. Once again, zero affiliation with any of these. I purchased all of these with my own money and I use them, and I want to help you guys save some money and kind of make decisions based on showing you the effects of these presets to figure out what's worth spending your money on, what suits you and the way you edit. And if any of these call to you, then yeah, drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And again, huge shout out to Signature Edits for having these raw files for me to just download and play with. Super awesome. Yeah, that's it. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, please hit subscribe. This is my 4th week, I think, of consistent uploading one video a week. I'm at 36 subscribers, which is incredible. Super stoked. I don't know, my goal was to try and hit like 30 by 90 days, and I'm well beyond that. So super grateful. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like photo editing videos, I will happily do plenty more of these. So let me know in the comments if there's anything special you want to see, or yeah, whatever. I'd love to hear the feedback. Cool. See you in the next one. Peace.